Okay, now.
Oh, now. Hey, it's Purple Accident. I'm Jason.
And I'm Hassan.
Sinzin.
Brian.
And we have a special guest today, Adrian. People might remember him from that time in Halloween where he came on for the auxiliary crew.
I do not remember.
I was a scab. I crossed the picket line.
Yeah.
It was a good topic. We were talking about the most expensive set on the porn site.
No, okay.
Was this when we were talking about blackface?
I don't remember. Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think Brian was talking
Blackface
about
in
that.
porn?
No.
They don't need that.
You'll have to listen to that again. I don't even know what went on. But yeah, so here we are. We just finished watching the Game of Thrones episode.
The series finale.
The series
It
finale,
wasn't
yes.
an episode.
It is
Yeah.
now over.
The
Yes,
music
it
is
is.
very good.
Okay, yeah, that's all you have to say for that.
Let's move on.
That was
Dun, dun.
okay, so what are your
Yep,
thoughts, everybody?
Those two notes.
What are your
And,
thoughts? Not just about the last episode, but like the whole thing.
As a whole?
Maybe
Overall.
as the overall,
we
maybe the
should
season.
start from episode 4 because I think last time we finished talking was.
Let's start from. You can just talk about the whole
I'll
season.
just say
Talk from-
overall for the series as a whole, it was really well done.
Yes.
But that last season was pretty crap.
Yes, if we're playing
Yes.
averages, yeah, the
Yeah.
show
Yeah,
was good.
Sure.
And then the last season was just a hot dumpster fire.
Then they also have a graph in IMDb where it showed the
The
trend of
ratings.
it, and it just like started. Like,
Yeah, just
Yeah, but you
sinking
can't
or
trust the
plummeting.
internet to review anything, right?
But that's like the average.
What was
right?
the
That's
peak?
the average.
Was that like season 4 or 5?
I think so.
Probably the red.
I would say like 2 or 3.
You'd say that's the peak?
No, I think
Yeah.
5 because Battle of Hardhome was in 5.
They peaked. They
I
peaked a
don't know,
couple
but
times.
the Red Wedding is.
The red
peaked a
wedding is
couple
probably
times,
the
yeah.
I think
highest.
the Red Wedding
Maybe,
would definitely
Like Battle of the Bastards and stuff. It was kind of. Well, it wasn't going down a lot, but it was losing
be.
viewers.
The writing around the Battle of the Bastards is actually fairly poor. It's,
Yeah.
Like the only thing that you can take away from that episode is that it is shot very well
Yeah.
and that the acting performances are great. But you look at the plot, you're like, this is kind of dumb. Like, why doesn't what's his face Ramsey just shoot Snow, right? But he's like,
Well, it
eh.
still bothers me
Yeah.
thinking back to like when Ramsey shot the arrow, like the long
to
range
kill-
shot.
to kill John's brother.
He's like, just turn to the side.
Zach,
He wasn't. He was just running that
Don't
straight
run
line.
straight, or just stop even. It
But
won't hit
that
you.
one was interesting because he shot 4 arrows before it hit the guy, and usually you have a beat of 3 where you shoot the first 2 and then the third one you will hit the guy.
Either way.
Yes,
you
what
could
are you, a
easily
fucking
dodge it.
archer?
Is this another editing gripe?
Like,
No.
I'm not
It was
quite
just-
understanding what you're telling us.
Like it's just in filmmaking you always have beats in 3, right? Where you introduce it and then the second one's reinforced and then the third is the delivery. Whereas this one where Ramsey shot the arrows, it was the 4th one that was the delivery. So the 3rd one, when it missed, it would give the sense to the audience like, oh, he's safe, and then the 4th one's
I
like,
see what you're
it
saying.
was like the
Yes.
M Night,
So-
haha.
They're
I got
subverting
him.
expectations.
Yes.
Which this entire season was subverting expectations.
Oh yeah,
This
the
subversion
word,
is so hard. The subversion was subverted. They subverted the shit out of me.
that word must be trending on Google.
Fuck's
that.
sakes.
Subversion.
Oh my god. If there was any, you know what? I'm just gonna
Like, you think
say.
people had to like Google it.
I'm just gonna say if there's any justice in this the entertainment world, Benioff and Wise should be rounded up and executed.
No, they should be tried.
No,
Tried
they-
and then executed.
They've been given Star Wars.
Executed.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's a finished story.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Is he not gonna
If-
subvert our expectations? For
Game
that?
of Thrones wise, if you really want to go back to the beginning of where it went to shit, is friggin' Grimm should have finished the series before selling the rights to it.
He might never finish the
No,
series.
he's never gonna finish it.
No, that's what I mean. Like, HBO came up to him with a lot of money, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, I can see myself finishing."
This
it in
might
a
be
couple
the
of
ending
years."
we have to live with for the rest of our lives.
It could very well be, yeah.
Well, actually, I had a great theory. I think in maybe like 10 years, George R. R. Martin's gonna die, and then Brandon Sanderson's gonna.
I would love that. I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, I think that would be ideal.
He said he did say that he has the plans for if he has like detailed notes. So if he does pass away before then, someone he might think of someone. Oh, you know, like when while he's alive, he might think of maybe someone can finish this for me.
Well, if he had detailed notes, why the fuck didn't he give them to D&D?
He did give him
Tons of
detailed
them.
notes. That's what they did with his detailed notes.
Oh.
They filmed the garbage fire.
I think now he's gonna just watch the series, take notes on how it failed, and then fix the book so it ends up better for sure.
Jesus.
Well,
Okay.
I think he's like on record saying like just because like people figured out your twist or whatever through your foreshadowing, it doesn't mean that you should change it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's
because
not going to change it, but the way he will make the story will be probably much better. Anything is almost much
Oh, this is a
better.
good test
Well,
run for him.
yeah.
Like,
Like,
okay.
he gets a litmus test of what's
Even
the
if they
reaction.
just did LSD the night before and just wrote the story,
Well-
I think it would be better.
Well, this is a first in history probably where the guy has to finish this original material has to be finished after the secondary material.
That's
is
not
complete.
true. Full Metal Alchemist.
Anime,
Oh, yeah.
anime
Yeah.
does it all the
I,
time.
I guess I didn't know about anime.
You don't know about anime?
I know anime, but I know about anime, but I
let's-
never.
How about we'll break out we'll break down the finale episode. How about that?
Okay. It
Holy
starts with Tyrion walking in ruins of rubble.
Okay, so okay, you know, there's like a petition going out for basically then people are just shitting over the writers saying they're so bad and they want HBO to basically redo it. It's not likely. No, like it's not likely to literally happen, but the spirit is there where everybody's just mad, right, at this shit, right, and then one of the if you read some of the articles going out, some people just have it ass backwards, right? Some people are thinking people are just mad just because, you know, Daenerys went full, you know, like full Hitler and killed a whole bunch
Yeah.
of people. When, you know, that's not what the majority of people are mad about. It might be like like that group, but that
It's
doesn't
just the ones that
understand
names
shit.
their kids Khaleesi and Daenerys.
Yeah, if you named your kid Daenerys, yeah, now you're, oh my god.
You deserve that.
The kid is like 5 years old now. you can't change that name.
Well, a word of advice: you shouldn't name someone after someone's living because they have time to screw up.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
if they're dead, you're safe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you can name your kid
It's-
Hitler because he's dead, right?
Safe.
No, you
I-
know
I-
exactly what you're naming him after then.
I think what Brian is saying, you could have named your kids like Ned if you wanted to, because Ned died in the first season.
Yeah,
An
exactly.
honorable.
Like,
person.
there's no way for him to
But
screw up his
He had a
name.
chance to come back. Like, they could have just resurrected him as a zombie. He could have done some stupid shit. Like, they could have done it.
yeah.
Well, like
That
just
would've
his
subverted our
decapitated head
expectations.
or his body.
Both. It would
He
be
was- he was
there's
pieces.
his body carrying his head, like nearly headless Nick.
So yeah. Anyways, going back to whatever the fuck I was saying before. Yeah. No. Some people are just mad just because their favorite character turned evil. The majority of people, especially if 1 million people signed that, that's not what they're getting mad about. They're getting mad about, like, okay, yeah, it's kind of, they could see that she could become evil in the end, but then just how you get there, it's just the worst storytelling.
It's because they sped it up so much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
It would
George
be-
R. R. Martin said, like, this is my end result. I want to make a burger with meat patty, lettuce, and cheese.
It's like those cooking videos.
Yeah,
instruction
and
videos,
then
like,
when it
prepare
Benioff and
meat.
Wise is like, oh, I think we should just jizz in the burger as sauce, and then that could fall. And then what the end result that they came out is just unedible.
Well, clearly it seems like they're done with the show. They just want to end it as fast as they could.
It sounded like that.
I
It
don't
sounded
know
like they
why
wanted to
though.
fuck
They
off.
have like they make so much money. Why
Yeah,
not just
looking
take
back
time?
at season 7 and 8, they should have been full seasons.
Yeah, I
They
think
should- if they were 10 episode regular seasons like the rest of the series,
I think they
could've-
needed
could've-
even one or
I
two
think,
more
yeah,
seasons.
like another season at the very
Because I
least.
think
on
maybe
top of that.
season 10 is when.
That's what HBO wanted, but D&D.
Yeah,
HBO
HBO wanted that.
HBO was like the heads of HBO were open up to like 10 seasons. They're like, we don't.
Well,
It's a moneymaker for us. I mean,
Like,
we're
I think
for-
10 seasons is a little bit unfathomable, just
Yeah.
because the actors, they don't want to be in contracts for that long.
No,
right?
definitely. And
Especially like this is making their careers as they're going.
yeah,
But a
But
lot of
probably
them don't
fuller
even like how it
season.
ended.
no, and that's why I'm saying even if it wasn't
Fuller seasons, I would.
But
Yeah.
it could also be the cost because maybe like people's contracts are getting more and more expensive. They
not so
They're
much so.
making so
Even
much
the,
money.
the top 5 were making like
I think 500K is
500,
that's
yeah.
floated around.
Yeah, probably the
500K.
best
So
one.
that's
would be,
not that huge. That's $2.5 million for the top 5 characters.
Out of all the top ones, the best one's probably Cersei because she just looked out the window and just getting paid millions of
Yeah.
dollars.
Oh, and then she gets some like nice like close-up shots of her face, like
Yeah, it was just all her gazing out the window. It's great. She barely had any lines.
Yeah.
I remember she said, "The Red Keep hasn't fallen; it won't fall today, and our armies will fight to the last man."
Yeah, I'm sure that took her like maybe I don't know 5 minutes to remember and repeat it, and then we're good.
But yeah, like I don't know about the 10 seasons thing, but I think they should have been full 10 episodes. Seasons
Yes.
7 and
Yeah.
8.
Or
For
they
sure.
should just replace who was writing it Those two fuckers. By the way, disclaimer: just because we said they should be executed doesn't mean they should be executed.
They should be tried.
Yes, tried.
They should be tried.
Tried for crimes against humanity for unleashing this shit first, and then executed depending on how the trial goes.
Also, we didn't say they should be executed. Zinzin said they should be executed.
Disclaimer: we all said it. I'm bringing you all down with me.
Also, disclaimer: execution may mean something different in Chinese.
Shot. All right, and then okay. So this episode, it was just. I get it sounds like they saved up all the juice for that beginning part of the episode where Daenerys is still alive, and they make that scene with her and Jon just basically like what was that in the end?
Well, actually, that one scene where Daenerys was walking through the hallway and the dragon wings, that was sweet.
That was sweet.
I really like that shot.
That
and then
was
when it
awesome.
goes behind her and you see the braids and she's walking to
Kind of remind me of something around something like Dracula or something like that.
Was anyone else thinking around this time, like, how did Grey Worm beat Jon up there?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
He's a fast
He
man.
must have pole vaulted.
His
He
balls.
just like jabbed
It's
it.
because he doesn't have the weight of his balls. He runs much faster.
He's just like, there's no chafing here, just speed.
So
He has more to prove. Jon, he's like trying to think all this through and then just slowly walking up.
But there are other choices that I thought that was a little strange. Like Tyrion, there was a lot of Tyrion walking, and they like drawn that out for a long time.
yeah, well, they wanted it was just for that kind of effect.
Well, one of the things is when he was walking down to find Jaime. And
Oh,
Cersei.
he beelined it so fast.
Well, not just that, but it's like
He knew
they
exactly where they
showed
were.
last episode that the whole thing like collapsed on
Yeah.
them, and then he gets in there. It's like so much open
Yeah, he's
like
like,
space
oh, if
and
you
everything.
stood like 10 paces to the
Yeah.
left,
They would have been fine.
lived. It's just all this pile of bricks fell exactly where
and
they
they're like
were.
at the top of the rubble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he lifted
What
one
the
brick
hell?
off.
Yeah,
You take 2 bricks off, you can see their faces.
yeah, it's a couple
Okay.
bricks. Yeah,
And speaking of 10 tons of bricks falling on them, and their faces are still perfect.
yeah.
They're
Well, it's
not
the Lannister.
Oh, come on,
blood,
they're the
right?
Lannisters.
The Lannisters always
What the
So
hell does that?
pays their debts.
It's like
What
main,
the hell?
main character benefits.
Yeah,
It's
but
in their contract. They always have to look pretty.
Yeah.
yeah.
still, it's not realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it's not. The show hasn't been realistic for a while now.
It's,
It never was realistic because there
No,
was
it
no
was-
white walkers or
like-
dragons.
Yeah, even with dragons and magic and all that shit, it was still like believable to an extent.
I think
Back
the
then.
dragon had the best performance in the whole
The
episode.
dragon did. Yeah, the dragon did.
Like
Oh,
acting wise, even.
Speaking
It's
of
like,
the dragon, when did he become like so fucking sentient that he fucking melted the throne?
exactly. That's why he's such a good
yes.
actor.
Why did
So
it
much
know
emotion.
it had emotion? Yeah.
He's meta. He's a couple steps.
No, but before
And
that,
he even spared John. He didn't even
yeah,
fired him. He just like grazed him. With his
Although,
flames.
would he have even been able to burn Jon?
You could eat him.
Oh, yeah.
You could just fucking eat him.
You're not wrong.
I don't know.
Because I saw some of the people say, "Oh, maybe Drogon, knew that he couldn't burn Jon, so that's why he burned the throne instead." Well, I was like, "Well, fuck, why didn't you just eat him then?" The fuck,
I mean, he could have tested it too.
people are just doing mental gymnastics to try to figure out this ending.
And it's just like a symbolic thing, because the throne is the cause of all this.
the animals understand.
People
Yes.
don't want to admit.
No, but it would have made more sense if someone directed Drogon to destroy the throne.
None of that would have made any
What?
sense.
The directors did. The directors. They're like, look at how deep we are. This is what we are telling you.
Oh my god, I love all their subtle clues. Arya looks at Daenerys, she's like, she's a killer. I can tell who's a killer. Yeah, after she just like burns 100,000 people.
After she's killed. Yeah.
What an apt.
she's not
punch she
wrong.
has.
They're still doing that shot with Arya too, where she keeps sneaking up on John.
Yeah.
At this
she
point, we
does.
don't even care anymore.
Okay.
That's subtle, but I mean, it has nothing to.
Just Batman's everyone just appears and disappears all the
That's
time.
her only. Well, they just like to reuse that power.
Well, it's going to be very helpful for her when she becomes Christopher Columbus and discovers America.
It seemed like a spin-off that they were setting up for
Oh,
that.
okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's one of their
I
ideas.
hope it is. I kind of
Because they have 3 shows planned, right?
Arya lands it.
5?
Okay.
I don't
well.
want any part
Oh
of
my
this.
god.
They had
One of-
5.
Oh
They
my
had
god!
5.
One of them will be Arya landing in New York or something, establishing a colony.
They had
But, like,
5.
she has no plan. Like, when Christopher Columbus went, he was trying to find Asia from
yeah,
the other side, right?
yeah, no shit.
From
yeah.
the other,
Yeah,
from the
from
back
other
end.
side, he thought he'd be quicker. And then Ares just like, I want to go west.
I
She
don't
might,
explore.
she might land in Essos, like on the other side of Essos.
Oh, she just puts a little flag down.
Yeah.
Like, this is for Winterfell.
And then, just everything was just garbage. I had a whole rant about this yesterday. I forget most of what I ranted about.
I
when
had
went
so
to
much
sleep.
shit prepared, like all night. I didn't even sleep. Like I was just like,
Was this the hunger or the...
no,
No, he
I was
used to
full.
eat at night.
I was full.
He was
I
too
just-
full.
I just I finished watching at like 2:30 in the morning, and then I was just reading all kinds of crap online after that.
Yeah, mine was mostly like I went on Reddit just to watch, see what memes people made.
Okay, there's one main thing. Okay, a couple main things that I guess we didn't really discuss. So, how'd you feel about how Daenerys died?
Like the
Like-
execution or
Like, yeah,
the
just
whole
how it
idea?
happened.
I
Like,
think
all
it
of a
was-
sudden just shivved in the and that's it.
I think it was fine.
I think the acting was good. The music, they set the mood for it and everything. It was made for TV. It's just no matter how she died, it just felt cheap anyways because the run up to it was just so cheap.
But they tried to fix that with her speech before she died of how
Yeah,
I
they
don't
gave her
I
the
don't
last
I don't
hurrah,
yeah.
which is
But
nice.
it's just still like you can tell it's directed. It's artificial.
Yeah, it's very
She
forced.
said it. She said it just because the story demanded it. This ending demanded her to do
No,
something.
no, not really
It
because
kind of did.
It did.
It pretty
Kinda.
much forced her into that villain
It
role.
did.
'Cause she's
It
like
was forced.
oh, I want to take over the world kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Every
Okay.
character's action was pretty much forced. Varys turns into from the master of whispers and setting up this entire network of spies and learning information to, hey John, you want to do some treason? Like,
What? No, he was better about that. He was like, I don't have a dick.
okay, but still, like, hey John, you want to do
Not
some
something
treason?
you brag about.
It's just
Oh,
it's like
that's
he
okay.
opens his trench coat. He's like, "Yo, I got so many different kinds of treason for you to choose from." In front, it's all the characters are forced for everything. Like there's no build up. There's no just any kind of construction at all. There's no one can say, "Oh yeah, I can totally emphasize."
It's a cause and
empathize."
effect issue. You see the effects, but you don't see the.
They're
cause.
doing it because the story demands it. In these
But-
6 episodes, they needed them to do these things, and these things needed to
Yeah,
happen.
they need
for
to
the
be
story,
at a certain point at a certain
right?
time.
Instead of just the storytelling, instead of the show just telling the story of these people had to fit into the story within these 6 episodes.
Well, yeah, they didn't have the time to make it more subtle, so it had
But
to be so blunt.
that doesn't make sense of how they didn't have the time. They took 2 years to make the final season, and they couldn't make a regular 10 episodes.
Yeah,
they had to go with
that's why-
6.
that's on
Yeah, but
fucking
they
them.
they spent on like cinematography or the editing.
They just spent on just cocaine fueled.
Whatever, it doesn't make sense. HBO should have funded them whatever the hell they
They
needed.
did. The HBO said
Yeah,
we
so
would give
much
you.
money.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
No.
why couldn't they make 10 regular
I
episodes?
don't think their
'Cause
heart
they
was in
felt
it.
They felt it was basically the writers, the showrunners
They
that
wanted
decided
to
on
end
this.
it.
HBO even said, "Hey, do you guys need a full 10 episodes or something? Like, we'll give it."
Yeah.
to you.
No,
They're
I
like,
know.
No, we'll wrap it up in 6. And HBO, like everybody's like, "You sure?"
Yeah, it's like a
We're giving
contract.
you- we're
It's like
giving you
engineering
the money.
contracts. It's like, yeah, we'll do in 6. Don't worry.
Yeah, like I'm not.
They actually stopped.
They weren't even demanding them to be finished in 6. They're like, "Yo, are you sure you don't want like a
Yeah.
full all season?"
No, definitely. Like I say, the biggest flaw I think was the last 2 episodes being shortened. That's it.
Oh,
Like,
I think
if-
this
if-
entire
Okay,
season.
for the whole season?
This
Or
entire
what?
season.
No,
For
for,
like-
last 2
the,
seasons.
for the final arc of like closing off
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons being 7 episodes and 6 is
Yes.
what ruined it. If it was 10 episodes and 10 episodes, I think we would have been much better. Like
Yeah, I think so. But
even
I also,
even if it wasn't the greatest ending, it would be much better than this.
well,
I think the ending is fine, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like, it ended as well as it could have.
Yeah,
Even,
it's
like, whatever
probably-
characters they had, like, this is just
it's
fine.
probably what George R. actually. This was the ending that he was probably thinking of. Like, this
Yeah.
is what the ending
I
that
could believe it.
he gave the outline for. Because I remember back then there was some talks like this is how I imagined the Stark children would kind of end up. He had like a plan where,
it would be the rise of the star.
well, the Starks would be like the kids would be okay, but they'll be kind of like this, doing their own path or whatever, right? At the end of it all.
Yeah.
So I think like this ending was more or less within his outline. It's just how they got to it. It was like that drawing of the horse online. Season 1 and 2. Yeah, it's so detailed, and at the end, it's just like a fucking kid's drawing.
See, I'm very split about this, and I can't come to a conclusion or a decision on my own of how I feel about it. In some ways, I accept the ending. Like it is the ending that was probably the most likely to happen.
A lot of cliche stuff happened though.
Yeah,
But-
the way that they could have got to this ending could have been like a vintage Game of Thrones style, like where at the end where you'd be satisfied, or the ending you would think it would be a good ending because everything would make sense, it ties into each other, like the character motivations would be there, Brian. And you know, like the story would be organic. It would reach the ending in a more organic way, right?
Yeah.
What you saw as the season 6, as the like season and the series finale was, yeah, this is the ending that was probably going to happen. This was their end point, but how they got there was just so fucking shitty that when you saw the ending, you're like, wow, okay, this was the payoff, right?
Okay, so speaking of which, then, how do you feel about the new king?
Brand.
Bran the Broken. All hail.
When I
Of the
first heard
6
that, I'm like,
kingdoms.
he's the
That's
three-eyed raven.
another
That's a
thing
way cooler nickname than Bran the Broken.
Actually, that scene felt like a writer's room. We're like, well, we gotta pick someone, guys. What
Yeah,
are we gonna do?
yeah, they're doing lines on the table. Just, all right, who do you want to be king? I mean, like, you think Tyrion should be king? I think Bran should be king. Yeah, let's do another hit, man. Yeah, I can really feel Bran being king. Let's make the cripple king. Let's make him king, the broken
And then
guy.
Sansa just straight out tells everyone that his dick doesn't work.
How did she know? Like, did she
tried
test?
it.
Like,
She
what
was
is this?
She's saying, oh, you won't have children, so it's fine.
Jeez, oh
Which
my
doesn't
God,
make
that's so
sense.
dumb.
Just because his legs don't work doesn't mean
I'm
he can't
fairly
have.
certain
Yeah,
that those are
she was
independent.
saying that he can't
Yeah.
have kids, so
Oh,
it's like,
fuck. Yeah, oh my God, that entire council scene was also a big gripe of mine because it was like, nothing that they did over there just made sense at all.
No.
Right? It was like, oh, hey, let's
Start democracy.
He's like, yeah, let's start democracy.
it's like you're stupid, Sam.
Well,
It's
no.
not gonna work.
No, it's
It's like, hey, it's like, hey, oh, we should like, get someone to be king that has a really good story and shit. And you know, Bran has a really good story. And everybody else was like, yeah, I think so.
He
And that was
knows
it.
all the stories.
And then nobody was like, what the fuck? Like, why would it? What the fuck made
Yeah,
him
I'm
king?
surprised no one objected to that.
I love the part where they're all voting, and then Sansa is like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be independent," and I would think someone else would be like, "Wait, that was an option?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna take that
yeah,
back."
like, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
why did nobody else say they were all separate kingdoms before Aegon's
See, it
conquest?
would be
So
normal.
why didn't anybody else say that?
Well, especially
Because the
Yara.
Writers.
Yeah,
and
Yara-
Yara
Yara
and
wants
to
Dorne
be-
as well. Dorne has always wanted to
Dorne
be
is
independent.
very independent already.
And it makes no sense from coming from Sansa being independent when her brother is the king now.
Yeah.
If it was somebody else, if it was like
Yeah,
Yara,
she didn't-
if Yara became queen, or if freaking
No.
if they gave it to Gendry, then maybe she could.
It
say
wouldn't make
st-
much of a difference for Sansa to be independent. You're
Yeah.
right.
No, you see, like their thought process was, oh, she can say this because Bran's her brother. Her brother's king, so you know, so she has a better chance to say, "Hey, I want to be independent," and you just nod. And
No,
be
but
like,
that
yeah,
makes it look like a
for sure.
petty kind of thing. That already makes him
That-
look like a king who's going to choose sides
None of
because
this-
he sides his sister, and he's like, okay, sure, you get whatever you want.
None of this can work in real life, anyways. Because as soon as she says, "Hey, yeah, you can be independent," everybody else will be like, "What the fuck?" It's like if one goes independent, then why not all of us?
Exactly.
Or why don't we just fucking bring her back into the fold, right? Because we just fought a war to whatever, you
And-
know, like depose. We just assassinated a queen.
And then the other thing I hate
Don't
about
think
that,
I just push you down the stairs, motherfucker.
Well, then she would just become Sansa the Broken.
Oh god.
the other thing I don't like about that is after when they've decided that Jon is going to take the black again and go, and then they meet. They have that final farewell, and
Yeah.
Sansa says, "I'm sorry, I couldn't do anything for you." Well, yes, you can if you're independent and you really believe
Yeah,
that.
no
he's
shit,
the
she
king.
doesn't have
Give
to.
it to him.
She doesn't. She's,
Or
oh
like
my
she's
god.
just like, oh, why don't you just stay at Winterfell?
Ye-
You
Yeah,
know?
or
Period.
just anything. Like
Just
fucking
take the
Raymond
wall.
left. There's no one supervising. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
if the North is independent now and she's queen, but she stated that she really wishes, or she said something about how the people have lost their king, meaning Jon, then why don't you just step aside and give it to him if the North is now independent?
It's like
She
a
just
kid.
expand the lands north and
It's
just
like a
oh,
5-year-old kid.
Or move Castle Black right next to Winterfell, or inside
Jesus
Winterfell.
Christ!
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
like oh yeah, we're Castle Black / Winterfell now.
which is
Castle
why
Black actually-
it makes her look pretty petty.
There's nothing.
And she's basically the new Baelish. That's what she
It
is.
sounds like you know it is a childish thing to
I
do.
think that's what they're trying to set up.
Yeah,
like
and
especially
people-
that like post episode thingamajig where they're like, oh, she spent so much time with Littlefinger.
Yeah.
And what's
No,
his
she's
face?
so scheming
She's
now.
a schemer, and I'm like, no, I don't think that's how it works.
See, this
That's
is why they
smart
need
enough.
to go to jail. This
No,
is
but-
such bullshit.
But that's what they tried. That's what it looks like here. That she is a schemer. She's throwing shit into the pot that doesn't need to be thrown. She didn't need to ask for independence because her brother is now the king. You don't think that he's gonna think about Winterfell in all his plans and think of good for Winterfell?
It will just never happen in real life. It doesn't even happen for fucking Quebec. It's not gonna happen for fucking Winterfell, right? There's no way. Like, she turns to him and is like, hey, I'm gonna be independent now. Okay, sure. That will never happen. It's just like and just selecting the king themselves. Nothing has actually changed between these people. They're still the lords of their own lands, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if one of them's like, no, I don't, like, I choose this person to be king. No, he's a piece of shit. All of a sudden, there's another war.
Yeah.
Right?
Or
What's
even
to
if-
stop any of
even if
Game
they-
of Thrones from happening again?
Even if they choose another king and then that king has kids and he's like, you know what, fuck that tradition we
Yeah.
started. I want my son to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
king."
Yeah, I have. You know what? Yeah, I want my son to be king. What are you gonna do? Oh, Game of Thrones too. There you go. Nothing's changed at all.
What if Bran rules forever?
I hope he does. Then he can be like, haha, suckers. This was my plan all along. Ever since.
I don't want anymore.
And he just looks like a cruel ass bastard now, considering the fact that if he's a three-eyed raven, and then he knew that he was going to become king, so basically he let everything happen.
Isn't
That's
they-
what that was one line. Why do you think I came all the way?
Yeah,
this
exactly.
way?
So smug.
Yeah,
I knew this all along.
yes. Even though for so long he's like, I can't be a lord.
I can't be a lord. I can't be.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's
I
why I
have
thought
no
he wasn't
interest, and
gonna-
then bam! What do you think I've been doing here this whole time?
It's like, I can't be a lord, but I can be a king. And then he puts the sunglasses on.
Subverted! Oh!
And then do you think like David just like
They never
arrived?
they
Yeah,
never
he just-
explained why he was warging the whole time during the fight. With
Nope.
They didn't explain
Yeah.
anything, dude.
I'm like, what the hell? That was all for nothing?
Nope.
He was just like, I'm bored of just sitting here. I'm gonna.
Speaking of things all for nothing, wouldn't have John been best to just stay dead when he died the first time?
Yeah, no kidding.
Because his whole parentage thing didn't come to anything.
Look, even the people that got
He had
brought
it
back,
rough.
like Beric Dondarrion, all he got brought back was just to be a meat
A
bag.
plot
for-
device.
Yeah, exactly. Like anybody could have done that. like extra number 23 could have done that.
He's like, oh man, that guy held that door so good.
Yeah, he got brought back for that. Lord of Light has to be that guy.
Well, it's just like a Melisandre, right?
Yeah.
She's just like, I'm here for a purpose.
Yeah.
I'll let you know in 22 minutes what
Yeah.
that is.
It's to fuck Stannis and not get an abortion so a monster comes out. That was it. That was her
And-
main contribution.
Like, basically, the whole... John gets brought back from the dead. We find out about his parentage, but all that was for him to stab Daenerys.
Yeah.
basically.
That
Oh
was
yeah,
all-
it was Bran's
So-
long con.
The long con.
This is all under Bran's influence.
No, this is bullshit. This is horse cock. What the fuck? Oh my god. And then how the fuck is there so much Unsullied and Dothraki still alive? What, she just
I
put it
don't-
in?
Oh yeah,
That's
Put it in
half
the-
of how much there was initially,
Yeah, did she
apparently.
put in a new
Allegedly.
order
Yeah.
or something? Did they arrive?
I can see. Yeah, you just send a whole army of Dothraki, and you're like, oh yeah, I have tons left. Don't worry about
Yeah.
this.
It's like a fictional Elon Musk. Instead of making cars in their world, he's just making Unsullied.
It's just like, yeah, the factory orders actually got brought back to speed, you know. So now I have another army again.
Yeah.
You
How
don't have
did
to
they
fill the
build the
square.
boat so fast at the end, though?
It doesn't matter. How did they regenerate a whole army? Boats are easy. at
How
that
did they
point.
fix King's Landing in the time it took Tyrion to grow that beard?
They said it was like 2
It was like
weeks
3
or
weeks or
something.
something.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Did
it's
they
like,
say
like a
weeks?
few
everything's
weeks.
I
so
didn't see any
clean.
time car. I was confused for a bit.
Well, no,
Well,
it was just
he
his
said
beard.
like, oh, I've been doing a lot of thinking these few weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I see.
So
Such a
that's assumed to be at least
stupid-
3.
They might
At
as well.
least, yeah.
They say that, but they might as well just had that happen the next day.
Yeah,
Every-
pretty
all their
much.
action was basically like, oh, the next day.
It did feel like it. I love when Grey Worm was like telling Tyrion like not to speak, like, and then Tyrion's like, well, you can't choose, and then suddenly Tyrion's the one who chooses everything.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
such
they
a
all listened
hypocrite.
to him.
It's like he's like such a hypocrite.
and fucking the one suggestion he gives, everybody latches onto it. Like, the king we need is a storyteller, someone
These
who
storytellers,
can tell
like, no,
stories.
everyone else in there, like you have to presume, like they don't know who the fuck Bran is that much, right? They just know like, oh, he's the kid in the fucking wheelchair. right?
Even
And
if
like
they-
all the majority of the other lords, they're like their reaction should be, hold on, what the fuck are you talking about?
Even if they know he's the three-eyed raven, that's not a claim to the throne.
Yeah, even then he's like, oh, you tell stories. Okay, fucking tell me a story then.
And Yara championing for Daenerys still at the end still
Makes no sense.
makes no sense because freaking Gendry's there and Daenerys gave him his trueborn status.
And the Iron.
So and he's also, sorry to cut you off, but he's also the son of Robert Baratheon.
Yeah.
So if you need a king, there's one like
It's just
sitting
flimsy.
right there.
The whole reason she pledged, she says she's so passionate, is because it's just literally because she said, "Oh, I pledged myself to Daenerys." But then the Ironborn are not even known for being like that loyal at all.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, like what's dumb is that like her brother went to go fight at Winterfell, for Jon.
Yeah.
And she's just like, let's fucking kill that guy. Like I hate that guy, man. Look what he did.
Oh yeah, Brian's the one who killed. You're right. He told him like, you lived a good life, now you can go now. And he just looked.
And they don't even bring up the options. It goes straight to, we need a storyteller to be the next king. They don't go to the options of Jon is still there, and Varys sent out the letters before he perished.
But did those letters actually get out?
We don't
Yeah,
know if
that's
those
the
actually went
question.
out.
I thought they were stopped.
But the implication is that maybe some of them would have gotten out, or at least the news would have gotten out, because he did have those little spy to his kids there too.
Yeah.
I felt like that
So
was
the news should have
Nothing
spread.
Varys did
Not
in this
meant
season
anything.
mattered.
Well, I felt like a lot of characters, yeah, what they didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
And I feel like the learning about John's lineage, yeah, as you said previously, it didn't matter.
That
Yeah,
was
because like
subverting your
Is that actually
expectations.
you
I expected all this to
I don't know
matter.
if it's known. That's the thing. Like in the council where they're choosing the king,
Yeah, it's like maybe
John
they
didn't
just
come up
know and
and-
they don't care.
I felt like they rolled the dice on
John's
this one.
name should have come up when you're choosing a king, because he is the last Targaryen and the true Targaryen, and Gendry's name should have come up, given the fact that Daenerys gave him his trueborn status and lord status. So if you really,
Yeah, but John's still at the top of that list.
it's still, but those would be the two. Those two
Yeah,
had
yeah.
better
They
better
have
standing
claim
than
by-
Bran the
birthright.
Broken.
So you're saying that we're basically at the beginning of season 1 again? Like after Baratheon dies, it's like, oh, who should be king? Oh, maybe the other Baratheons. It's like, oh, what about that Targaryen out in the east? Like it's exactly the
Yeah.
same. Like nothing's changed except now more people are in jail.
No, but I and that's what I mean. Like I accept this episode that they wanted to change that. Like if you're doing the same thing again, then it's just Game of Thrones 2. But they wanted to change that, so that's why as a council they chose Bran. But
Oh.
But the thing is, nothing is actually changed, right?
No.
Like this is not a real change at all. It's so fragile and flimsy, and it's just everything that caused the Game of Thrones still exists there. Everyone is still like the lord of their own lands.
ambitions are still there.
Exactly.
That's proven by Sansa being independent right there.
Exactly. That by itself would be a cause for war.
Oh yeah,
right,
but what
already.
about this? There was that theory that Bran's the Night King. What if he actually is and he just took over everything?
Well, subverted expectations. Oh.
I don't think there's that.
Then they
kind
should
of
have had 2 more
smart
seasons.
writing.
Yeah, sequel to this, and he is like slowly becoming the Night King and just takes over all of Westeros.
Oh, and then it's like, haha, winter did come. You
Yeah.
just didn't see it.
That's why
coming.
it's so easy to kill that so-called Night King before.
He's
Well,
the
I mean,
fake Night King.
Yeah, it's to make them think that threat was over, but now it's.
I
truly
would
begun.
enjoy that story a lot more. You know what?
That'd be a cool Game of Thrones.
Maybe
too.
that's
I
one
would-
of the spin
Well,
I
I
would
think
enjoy
it's
any
fine.
story a lot more. I was telling this one story to Adrian and Brian the other day. I'm like, you know what? I hope it was. So one of you said it's like, oh, what if it turns out to be like the O.J. Simpson trial the next day after the massacre? And I was like, I hope it is. That would be much better story to tell. You know? Oh yeah, the fucking dragon doesn't fit. You know? You're gonna have to quit.
You know when John killed Danny, no one saw him do it, right?
No.
He basically.
He has to snitch on
He
himself.
snitched on himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no one has record, and the body is gone. The dragon.
body-
yeah.
He could have
Like,
came
how
out and be
they-
like, "Oh, where's Danny?
He could
Do
just
you guys see
said
Danny?"
she flew off on a dragon
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she's done what she's needed, and now she's gonna go on
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
I'll keep her. I will run the world.
But
instead.
that's him being Ned's son.
Yeah.
He can't do that.
He
Right?
probably just like walked up to Grey Worm. He's like,
I
"She
did
was
it."
my queen."
She
I
was
love
my
her.
queen.
and I stabbed her.
I loved her, and I didn't want it.
No attends.
That's it.
I loved you. I loved her. My queen.
What the fuck is
You're
that?
going way
My
too
queen.
far from his accent.
My queen. My queen.
You
My
sound
queen.
French.
My queen.
You sound French.
My name is Jeff.
Quebec
My queen. La
Dear
queen.
God. That's so much cringe.
I'd rather see that for season 6.
Just that nonstop.
Yeah, that would be a great ending. That would
Just
be
replace
true.
all the actors with Quebecois.
Subvert. No, just have the original actors, but they have to go. Ma queen.
It's Borat.
At the feast, they're all just eating poutine.
Ma queen. Next match. I didn't kill her. Okay, you know what? Okay, so let's contrast this with another big, another big series, but actually, I personally think ended much better.
Wait,
And that-
before that, is there anything else anyone wants?
well, we'll
to
still
There's a
go back
lot.
to it.
I
We'll
could-
still
I
go
could
back
go
to
We
it.
could.
Okay.
Yeah, we could jump
stay on
back
it
and
for a
forth.
while.
We'll go back to it,
Okay.
but for now, like, yeah. So what I'm talking about is Avengers Endgame. I actually thought the ending for that was actually pretty good, the way they wrapped it up.
That was a wonderful ending, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for the
they wrapped
series.
that up pretty well.
Like,
For character arcs and everything, it was.
yeah, because
Solid.
it was like a good balance of like what the fans wanted to see, and actually the story was
It was alright.
yeah. Aside from all the time travel shit, but
Yeah.
whatever. It's Marvel.
Time travel never makes sense.
Yeah,
in-
well, it's
in
Marvel.
movies.
It's like so many different universes, whatever. And, like, there's no way to make sense of that
Yeah.
logically.
It's just a cop out. Like the time travel is always just gonna be a
Mhm.
cop out. But I thought it was just like a great love letter to the fans. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what everyone wanted. Like it was a much better movie than Infinity War.
Yeah.
Well, Infinity War is still really good.
Well, I
Oh.
see them both as one movie. Like you can't take
Yeah.
one for without the other, right?
That's
so
true. But like I don't know, like Infinity War does too much. Is what I would say. Like there's just too many characters. It's too hard to follow.
What's good about Infinity Wars is it had a lot more action.
yeah.
It was like basically non-stop action throughout the whole
I could do
thing.
without action.
But you could
Yeah.
you could think
Well,
of
this-
Infinity War as one character, which is Thanos, and then a lot of cameos.
I like. My wife said something funny. She was like, in the beginning when Thanos was just chilling out, just just fucking making his lunch or whatever, I kind of felt sorry for him when he got fucking killed. Yeah, man, that poor guy, he
I
just
think
got fucking
That's what
ganked
he
by
does.
these guys. He's just making lunch and he's just chilling, in this garden, this little hut.
Yeah.
And
what
they
he
just
does in the
come in,
comics too,
home
though.
invasion.
He's
and
also
just,
like half burned.
yeah, and they come in, just do a home invasion and just fucking decapitates him. Like, holy shit.
Without a fight or anything.
Wait, did she not watch the first movie?
No, we did.
Oh, okay.
But
I just
then
felt
this-
bad because
She
he's
felt
all
bad. No, I
peaceful.
felt bad for him too.
Dude, this is a home invasion and just got decapitated.
That's what they were working towards. Like
It was a SWAT invasion.
Go, 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 go.
Like he was seasoning his soup, and then he just gets brutally murdered.
No trial, nothing. It was just bam.
But
Well,
keep
I
in
mean, I
mind, he
think they
still
wanted
killed
to have-
half the population of everything.
Yeah.
So.
I think they wanted to have like a trial or something, but then Thor was like, no.
Yeah, just fucking
not
kill
how
him
I got
right
his
there.
head
Ah.
this time.
Hitler was a painter, but I'd still decapitate him.
Thor's-
He's painting.
Thor's storyline in that was awesome. I think
About Thor?
Thor.
Yes, that Thor was great.
that was like it hit some real notes.
Yeah,
like,
when he went
what-
back
what-
in time, talked
what-
to his mom.
Yeah,
Fat Thor.
and the fact that it basically at the end of Infinity War he should have gone for the head, and that one decision has ruined humanity. So that's weighing on his shoulders.
He's got like PTSD
Yeah.
from that, basically.
So it kind of makes sense of what happens to him. He's just giving up and playing video games and drinking beer.
I
I,
actually think.
I like Taika Waititi in that.
Yeah.
He's like, he's back, Thor, Noob Master 69.
And that slug thing that was also there, just chilling
Yeah,
on the
just
couch.
sitting there.
He was one of my favorite characters. Like, by
All
far.
those great performances was, in the
When you
shadow of that.
He was one of my favorite characters. I hope they make a movie about him.
Yeah, who played his part?
I don't know, but
Oscar winner right
I
there.
want him to win an Oscar.
Best supporting actor.
Yeah, I want an augmented reality Oscar ceremony where he accepts his award for best actor.
Like a Tupac hologram?
Yes.
No, the Gorillas did that before when they win, like, whatever, Grammy or something. Because they're all, like, just,
Cartoon.
yeah, basically. And they did videos of, like, oh, thanks for blah, blah, blah. But that's how they do it.
See, like, man, it's just so sad that like Infinity War and Endgame, the way the story overall is nowhere close to something, and it's not the same as something as Game of Thrones is. But then, it doesn't take that much to just like just wrap it up and give it a good, satisfying ending to something like that, and then to feel what Game of Thrones is basically this is what it feels like when you don't have a satisfied ending at all.
They tried too hard to subvert your expectations.
They subverted the shit out.
It's
of it.
not just. We're back on Game of Thrones that quick? Okay.
We can do both. Like
I think we're just doing a comparison.
we got tons of time for both, man.
If we want to go back to Avengers,
I think the Game of Thrones stuff is not just subverting expectations, it's just that they run out of source
And
material.
they forgot about like
Everything.
the Iron Fleet.
They
Flashbacks.
They even said, "Oh, Danny kind of just forgot about the Iron Fleet."
Oh, they didn't. I
Yeah,
couldn't
forget
find the
what's
inside
the threat.
episode of the last one.
That-
It's-
no.
it's literally when you see Drogon die, or not Drogon, Rhaegal die.
Yeah.
And then after that episode, they're like, yeah, she kind of forgot about the Iron.
No.
Like it's literally in that episode. Like
I saw that one, but like after the series finale, I didn't see
Oh,
the inside one
the inside
because
one
I was
was
hoping to see like what's your thought process here, guys. I
Well,
was waiting for it.
If she's supposed to be the greatest military commander in the world or whatever that they've set her up to be, you can't just forget a fucking fleet.
That was the
and
only
fact that she
thing.
gets reminded like every third episode or so, like here's the Iron Fleet. Oh, they're
On the
shipping
map.
over the Golden Company. They're still here.
Speaking of the Golden Company, that lead up
Oh,
was
they
just
didn't do nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if they had the elephants.
Oh yeah, then they would have.
You know
Yeah.
why? It says that their entire army was wearing silly-looking pants. Like, what the fuck was the point of wearing those pants?
I didn't even pay attention.
Distraction.
To that. What the hell were they wearing?
I mean,
It's
if you
just
didn't
pants over armor, man. It's like
if you didn't know who the Golden Company was, you wouldn't have missed it.
yeah. It's like who are these fucking
There's
guys?
just a lot of hype, and then it's just like, oh, they just got punched in the face.
And-
Oh, they're dead.
And nothing. They serve no purpose.
and that's the thing that Harry Strickland has a much better, bigger plot in the books. I don't know if anybody's read them.
No, I haven't read it.
Who is he? What?
The leader.
The
Oh,
Golden
okay,
Company.
gotcha.
Oh,
The
so
Golden,
guy that just,
there's
you
a
know,
bit. Golden Company's a big deal in the books. It's not as just. Like, it's a big fucking deal.
Subverted.
Yeah.
Subverted.
They did nothing.
How subverted were your expectations?
I
Maximum subverted.
you think at least I was expecting the Golden Company to go up against the Unsullied or something like that, or the
Oh, that'd be
Dothraki,
nice.
or the
That'd be
Dothraki, because the Dothraki are her main force. Like
Her shock troops.
Yeah, her shock troops, and then
Shock cavalry.
the Golden Company was supposed to be Cersei's.
They
shock.
should, and I want to assume that they've done battle before, the Golden Company and the Dothraki, back then on their home continent.
I can't remember.
Or are
the
they too
history.
far away?
I
from
can't
each other?
remember the history. They may have, but I don't.
Because it would have been good if they were like rivals from already back, like
from back then.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
They're like, oh hey, motherfucker, you're
yeah,
back
you
here.
pieces of shit,
Yeah.
yes. But instead, it just all wiped out. In like the first second, Drogon's so powerful. Like oh my god, the thing is, when Drogon just destroyed everything, in my mind, I'm like, you see, that's what was supposed to happen. That shot that Euron did on the seas, those shots were impossible. They would have never hit. It would be like a 1 in a million shot to hit him 3 times too. Like
3 in a row.
In a row.
yeah, that will never happen. With fucking medieval crossbows on a boat.
And Rhaegal, even if he got shot, you'd think that there'd be some retaliation on his way down. If he's like, hey, fuck, I'm going down, let's burn the shit out of whatever's
You know
in my
what?
path.
He was probably
on the
already
way down.
surprised because he's like, "Holy fuck! How did I get hit by this?" He's just in shock as he went.
It's always just like my expectations were subverted.
No, because any animal instinct is when you're hurt, you go on the fence.
Except when your expectations are
Well,
subverted.
right? It's fight or flight, right? He could have just,
No, but-
flew up.
That's
or
an
just flew down.
impossible shot. Like, there's no way that single
The
shot.
second one that went through his throat, that was impossible.
Those
Like,
are impossible shots. Like,
'Cause
Correct.
It
Because
came out- it
It
came
came
out-
at him straight on, right?
Yeah.
yeah, and they're
And-
supposed to be
and the
hidden
shot
too.
came out as
So literally, like people are saying,
Oh,
you had
no.
to You had
It's
to fire like a
it's the
parabolic
JFK
shot.
assassination.
Yeah, like the bullet had to curve. The shot, they had to be a parabolic shot, and they hit 3 of them. That's insane.
Oh my god, Angelina
They,
Jolie.
they learned from
successions.
Angelina Jolie.
So it's not even like just Euron's ship. It was like 3 different ships because they're shot so quickly.
Yeah,
There's
but
no time to reload.
But
so.
still, like
yeah,
even
but like
with
him,
all
but
the
he was leading like the charge,
Yeah, no.
right? Like he was at the front.
all those
I'm just saying
ships,
3 different people had to get that shot down.
Yeah.
And they all did it perfectly.
No. Where were these people in the episode after? Where like,
Yeah.
where they're all just so inept. They're like, oh my god! Like it's like with 11 ships, we took down a dragon. With 100, we're fucking useless.
They have mounted scorpions on the fortress, on King's Landing, on the walls. Those are immovable, and those ones can't hit one dragon. But
that's what I'm saying. The Drogon thing, the Drogon scene was accurate. That's what actually should happen. There's no way they can hit that. Like, I'm gonna put into perspective for you. Like, right now, there's no way you can single shot hit an aircraft like that.
No.
Like, unless you have some like radar guidance, honestly.
yeah, so the King's Landing where Drogon wreaked fire.
Would be accurate.
That's accurate, but the ship thing was shit.
Yeah, well, Rhaegal getting shot down, that's bullshit. That's complete. Like, right now, if you're gonna aim and fire at someone, you're gonna have to have like a really high rate of fire, like a couple hundred rounds per minute to try to get one of those to hit. Or, like your round that you fired has to explode into a cloud of shrapnel just to get at least some part to hit, right? That's like what they did in World War II. There's no way that people are firing like these little fucking single shot crossbows and you can take down something like that.
That was one thing that bugged me kind of in the episode where they're like Tyrion's negotiating for Missandei and stuff.
Yeah.
Like she's on top of the wall. You could see Drogon in the back, like behind the Unsullies, but it's still closer than shooting up.
Yeah, no
in
shit.
the air.
And shooting down
And they had
too.
all the
And he's just
crossbows on the
sitting
wall.
there. They
Yeah.
could have just fucking wasted all of them. Just like, look at these stupid motherfuckers. They're lining up for us. We got a clear shot at them.
And the dragon's there
Yeah,
too.
seriously. Should
Yeah,
be like, just
dragons
fucking
on
fire.
the ground, not
Fire.
moving. You got a clear shot.
This is the worst. It's like, yeah, come closer to see your friend.
It makes no sense because Daenerys was all like, I don't trust Cersei because she said she would come to the north and then she didn't. And then you're there, then she's there for the truce with the dragon and everything.
Yeah.
Trusting Cersei, in the mercy of Cersei. And then suddenly, again, once they attack King's Landing and win, and then the bells start going because they're surrendering, she suddenly says, oh, I don't trust her again. And I'm gonna just light up the whole fucking place.
Yeah, like that part, you see people, it was just so like ham-fistedly done. Like, what was her triggers at that point? Like John wouldn't fuck her, and the bells went off, right? Oh, and her friend got beheaded before, but that was the day before. She still was saying, hey, I'll give him some mercy, but the bells going off, and just remember earlier, like an hour before, John said, no, I can't fuck you. That's what sets her off.
No, but like. See, again, I'm so conflicted about this because I'm arguing both sides, which is stupid.
I tried to do that too. Remember that Dothraki charge in the 3rd episode?
Yeah.
I tried to argue both sides.
Well-
but it's unarguable.
Oh, yeah.
In your argument of Daenerys right there, I would argue that she always had a general or a right-hand man to rein her back in. At that point, she didn't. So that's why she was kind of just like, everybody, she's gave up on Tyrion because she realized Tyrion squealed to Varys, and then Varys sent the message everywhere, and and she had originally asked Jon not to tell anybody, but Jon still told his sister, so she lost trust in them. Everybody else, Jorah and everybody else, was gone, so she had no one to rein her fucking back
that's
in.
a legit point to actually make her be more believable, but the way they just went about that to get from point A to point B is literally John won't fuck her and she heard bells, right?
Well, and
It
her
was a
black
fleshed
friend
out.
died.
Yeah?
And her black friend died.
Yeah, and
Like
she
her only friend.
Her only friend. got
Allegedly.
beheaded.
Like the one African American.
Oh man, there was such a big outrage. It's like, how dare you put her in chains and then behead her? Well, then everyone else left over is white, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, you're getting outraged over something. You gotta pick your
Grey
outrage.
Worm's still alive.
Yeah, Grey Worm's still
gray.
alive. What is
Yeah, but
He's great. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. He's great.
What, are eunuchs not considered people either?
I don't know. Yeah. whatever. I don't know what the fuck to say.
I think
There's
this
no
is the-
argument.
It's
for
just
it.
so hard to defend.
This is the general feeling of most people. Is like whatever, just
Like
sure.
I can find
Sure.
arguments where I support the story, the Daenerys' story arc and everything, but then the overall thing still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what I find too. I think that's what all of us are like. Like, we're not. The problem is not what happened. Like, it makes sense, and it was foreshadowed that King's Landing was going to burn. She was probably going to reach that point where people will look at her as a tyrant rather than a savior. It's just how they got there was just such a bad fucking 5-year-old telling the story.
Well, let's...
And then the dragons came, and then they did this, and then the nice lady she set fire to the city, and then
she wasn't not so nice.
That's,
She wasn't so
that's
nice
literally the
anymore.
storyboard that you just outlined.
You getting this down? Like, God, get some storyboards done.
Yeah, bending off and wise. We're like, fuck, I can't write fast enough. Get it all down.
It's almost the
golden.
kids' nap time. We gotta get this.
Just drop the word and then. We don't need it.
This is subverting expectations so hard.
I could just imagine those two in the writing room. They're like, man, we're so smart. Look, this is the sickest foreshadowing we're gonna put in for Deity's character arc. And they're like, yeah, man. It's like, that's gonna be fine, right? Like, that's character development, right? It's like, yeah. That's what we call character development.
It's like that scene. It's like that skit from Louis C.K. when he's masturbating, and right when you're reaching the end, you're like, you don't care about anything. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's like, oh, your house is on fire. Yeah, fuck, let it all burn. Yeah, I'm almost there. It's all that was basically them. But then I also hate, they do the after the episode specials. I hate how smug they are and all these and explaining
more so David.
Yeah, I just hate. Oh yeah, we decided to do this because it was kind of it's subtle.
we've been hyping up this Jon and Night King confrontation for 4 seasons or so, but we decided to subvert your expectations because fuck you.
Daenerys just looked at the Red Keep, and that was where her family was from, and she just got really angry and just decided to fucking burn it all.
Yeah.
Oh god.
How many times did she say, "I won't be Queen of the Ashes"? And
Yeah.
now
Then
Queen
she's
of the Ashes.
for 5 minutes.
And then,
For maybe less.
but you
She
got
never
to
even sat on the throne.
Well,
Yeah.
that was in the foreshadow from season 2. She
Yeah.
touched it, but she couldn't sit on it, so that had to happen.
Lots of memes were made with the.
And then she also gets reunited with the Drogo and her unborn son in that foreshadowing in season 2, because she sees them right. In
Oh,
the
I was thinking did they have a Star Wars
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
thing where they're just
Force Ghost?
yeah.
they have it in her vision in season 2 where she sees the tent,
Right,
and then she
okay.
goes in. So basically, that's what the assumption is now, that she's dead. That's where she is. She's with Drogo and her unborn son.
But now her unborn son is now a dragon.
Oh god! Oh god!
And speaking of
Matt Queen.
Speaking of Drogon, at the end, Bran asks, do we know anything about Drogon? And
Oh, yeah.
Bronn says, last I heard, or whatever, it was flying east or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, that's okay, I'll find him.
I thought at that moment he was just gonna turn his eyes back.
Yeah.
Just sit there,
Oh,
right?
he's just gonna warn you.
Yeah,
Not even-
oh yeah, there he is. Yeah, there he is.
And the other thing is that dragon even tameable or controllable now that there's no Targaryens left?
I don't know what he
There's
means.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
John's-
still
There's
one.
Jon.
Yeah.
I don't know
But
what he
he's-
means by. Is he gonna warg into some birds and follow the dragon, or is he gonna warg into the dragon? Because if he could
What's
just
the range?
if he could just warg into the dragon, then all of this was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
All of it.
But the idea is, at least in the books from what I remember, they can warg into... Some people can warg into some animals, but then the three-eyed raven should be able to warg into everything.
He's got the master warging
Yeah, he's
capability.
He
got
never
Master
thought
Chief
of trying to warg into the dragon.
It's just like, wow, this is a good idea.
I'm just gonna stick to
'Cause-
ravens because that's the name.
Just warg into the mountain on a random Tuesday and just behead Cersei.
Because in the books, there's some of the wildlings can warg into like the polar bears. Or
I heard
whatever
in the
and
books
stuff like
all the Stark children can warg into their wolves, right?
that. No, it's only Bran who's warged into a couple of the other Stark children's wolves.
Oh, okay.
I was
but
hoping
I
to
don't
see
think
because
Robb
Nymeria
would.
is still out there somewhere, right? I was hoping to see.
Well,
like,
she had that intro with Arya for a little bit.
Yeah,
she's
no, I was just
fucked
hoping
now.
at the end Arya would have just like seen her from like the ship or something.
She's
I
fucked
don't
No,
now.
but
She,
no.
know. I don't know some.
Arya's going to America. She's fucked.
Arya's on a
fucked.
ship
Before.
and
Yeah, I was just saying when she's like leaving on the ship, looking towards the coast, or you might
But
see it. Or something.
Numerio's way back close towards Winterfell.
Yeah,
so
that
I
was
don't
like so long ago.
Yeah.
Kid just ran around.
She'd probably also be dead by now. Probably like eaten or something.
What eats a dire wolf?
I don't know, a zombie?
A Drogon.
Drogon just suddenly just swoops in, eats a dire wolf, and dies.
Well, at least
That's it.
people got the Jon and Ghost reunion.
Yeah.
with the-
Oh yeah, people were celebrating.
Yes,
my
finally
group
pet.
was like cheering when he pet the dog.
Imagine they didn't even plan for that, but then at the end they're like, "Fuck, we gotta get him to pet someone."
No, it's like the fans wanted it, so we put it in.
No, it all
Finally
makes
pet the
sense why
dog.
he sent Ghost to the wall. Or up north at the end of the battle for Winterfell.
Mhm.
He's just like, yeah, I'm coming later. I'll catch up, guys.
Oh, next level.
No.
I don't like how they sent him to the wall too.
Yeah,
it-
what's the point of the wall? nowadays?
What's the point of the
It
wall?
doesn't exist.
Not
When
only
did
that.
they fix the wall? The
Not-
wall's like
exactly.
perfectly fine.
Well, no, it's a little bit more rocky.
No, but they could be showing this from Castle Black. This scene was from Castle Black, whereas the wall fell down at East Watch by the sea.
Okay, I don't know how far away that would be.
It's
Huge
It's a
distance.
chunk
Far
of
enough,
distance,
sure.
yeah. That you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see the whole.
Okay, I'll buy that.
So I bought that. That's what I thought first too, but then I bought it because they came back to Castle Black, whereas the whole happened at East Watch by
But
sea.
like, what is the purpose of the wall?
That's what there's no purpose to the wall, but not only that, John, it would have been more real for him if he made the decision to go. In this case, they
They
decided
This
for
is-
him.
it's
They
it's an
decided
empty
for him.
order too. Like
And
just
be better.
nothing.
Yeah, they decide for him, and they're like Bran being all the benevolent king that he suddenly is. He's like, oh, I don't want to kill him, but yeah, let's send him to the wall.
Everything is just irony at that point. Making Tyrion the hand. He's like, I don't want to be hand. Well, I don't want to be the king.
Yeah.
But I've always secretly wanted to be the king.
Put on the sunglasses.
Like for John, like the way they built up his storyline, it just kind of pissed me off that at the end the final decision should have at least been his. Like if he had decided, hey, everything's done, the love
Yeah.
of my life / aunt of my
It's
life.
the Thanos. It's the Thanos decision. I just want to go home in peace and
Yeah.
watch the sunrise.
Yeah, if they wanted him to be king, he turned it down to go back north instead or something like
And
that.
then
Yeah.
Grey Worm comes in with the SWAT team and just kills him.
Like at the point, like it was. There's no point of Grey Worm even being there. He's literally just getting cucked at his own trial that he wanted for Tyrion. You know, like basically, he's like, oh yeah, I'm bringing this fucker here to basically what, like, to kill him basically. He's like, hold on, you can't do that because blah blah blah. blah. Let's select a king. Oh, you're my hand now. And then Grey Worm's like, what the fuck?
It's like, but this is our prisoner. Why does no one respect our authority?
That is his punishment.
They,
It's like,
they even gave him some
I
land.
don't
It's
know.
like, oh, why don't you just take this land, Unsullied?
He's like,
No,
oh,
no. They
Is-
suggested that to him, and then they're like, no thanks.
They're
But
going
is
back
it-
to Essos, right?
No, they're going to North.
They're going to North,
Yeah.
which is an island off of it.
Miss Sunday.
Yes, he's hoping to get
Speaking
some of that
of Miss
Sunday.
Sunday-
Find another one.
Miss
Yeah.
Sunday.
D&D seem to be both like totally at odds on her name. In the
Miss Indy?
in Miss Indy and Miss
Sunday.
Miss
Miss
Sunday.
and
Miss Saturday.
They both of them say it differently.
None of them can pronounce it.
And they say it differently than
Everyone?
what
You don't
the
want
mass
to go.
population.
You don't want to go down this route because George R. R. Martin pronounces Dothraki.
Well, that's fine because he's the one who created
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
so
accept
we're
your
all
terms.
already wrong.
Well, it's like
No,
the
they-
GIF and GIF argument.
Actually,
Different gift,
there is a
yes.
YouTube video on the guy who created the Dothraki
Yeah.
language,
Yeah.
and he goes in depth, and it's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, but no, this was just like both of the D&D guys. Like it's just if you guys created this, can't you at least come to a consensus on the fucking name?
Oh yeah, they
Every
should.
time I hear D&D, I always just think Dungeons and Dragons.
They spent that one
I think
scene.
you're not alone on that one.
So after Tyrion became the Hand, he spent a lot of time organizing those chairs around that table.
Yeah, which made
Like that was a weird scene. I'm like, oh, why were just like they're like the camera just sitting there,
Yeah.
just watching him.
Because they'd rather spend the time to shoot that scene than to develop characters.
Totally, and
I-
it was just comedy because then the other guys came in and messed up his chair.
It was symbolism, whereas the original kingdom was fucked up. Everything is skew, and he now that the new kingdom should be proper and linear, but then they come back in and they fuck everything up
I'm
again.
glad they spent so much time on
that's-
chair symbolism.
Yeah, that's a very good chair.
Speaking of the council, though, why is
Braun there?
well, yeah, why is he
Yeah,
there?
why is he
And why is did all the other maesters die or something? Why is Sam the master maester guy?
Yeah,
Because
that again.
your
He only has 2
expectations-
chains on his chain. Like, there's others with like a full-on thing.
Yeah,
Oh, why Sam?
Yeah.
Tully, yeah.
he's become the
Maybe because
archer.
he's also the head of a great house.
But being the head of a great house, why would you want to become the maester?
I don't think
Up-
maesters can be.
No.
I think you appoint them or whatever, but even then, it's like, why would they get
Because
Braun?
that's why I remember Master Aemon in Castle Black, he gave up his title. He was a Targaryen.
Yeah.
He gave up his title and he came to Castle Black as a
I,
maester.
don't-
So
I think what they were trying to do is just like make a parallel to him and Jon Snow,
yeah,
and then they just don't do it very well.
exactly.
It's bad. It's bad all on. It doesn't even make sense for Braun to be fucking
Yeah, he's just a greedy
The
guy.
master of
like-
coin. Yeah.
Lord of High. Well, to even just be Lord of Highgarden, right? Like, are all the Tyrells dead and all of their like sub houses dead as well? Did they
And-
all get wiped out? And then they just have land that's unburnt from
And-
the Lannister. I
The-
don't understand. And then some guy just walked in and, hey, yo.
What up? It's me, your boy Braun.
He seems very happy. He seems like a good guy. He's like all willing to,
Well, I'll take
actually
everything.
manage the finances and stuff.
And the fact that so many people, the great houses showed up for this council, but where the fuck were they when the Night King was marching on Winterfell?
Dorne was busy doing Dorne things. Like they're probably just like, well, we didn't get a very positive reception back in like season 3 and 4, so we're gonna sit this one out, guys.
All these lords showed up, just circle jerked around. Honestly, Bran being king is no different from Edmure being king.
That was kind of funny. That was kind of him standing up. I like that, where he stands up and,
Like,
and tries to
like,
nominate
you know,
himself.
Sit down. Like, wow.
I like that. I like this. People were trying to do a contrarian take on the whole thing. They're like, why the fuck would they pick Bran over Edmure? Edmure was at least a war veteran. He's a lord of himself. He's commanded armies more or less, even though he's completely inept and gotten himself captured. But he has the experience. Bran is just a guy that is in a wheelchair all day.
But clearly, Bran has commanded the future.
Well,
Bran-
that's what he so-called says. Big air quotes right there. He's like, he says he can do all these things.
He knows all of history.
He's a
He
storyteller.
says he
Yeah.
knows all this.
That's qualification right
I'd
there.
also like to
Prove
mention
it.
that Bran is the veteran of one war.
Did he was more like a veteran hostage of that one. He's just bait.
Well, okay, like what defines a veteran? Like if you served in a war, then you're a veteran, right?
Well, if you're just a guy sitting in a chair while the war just went around you,
Well,
would you be a veteran?
there's tons of people like that were probably in every war, right? There's probably people just like sitting in an aircraft the whole time.
Well, as bait, just a guy strung out as bait.
Hey, yeah, so he played a role.
I mean,
so-
even the mechanic could be counted as a war veteran.
Yes.
But a guy sitting there as bait, that is the line, right? That has to be where the line is. He just sits there and wargs, right?
for no reason.
Yeah, but no one knows what he did.
You're gonna give him like a service medal, like congratulations on taking part in Operation Desert Storm, where you just sat there
Yeah, he
and
gets a
rolled your
position.
eyes to the back of your head.
What if every time he like rolls his eyes in the back of his head, nothing's actually happening?
Oh, God,
But
like-
he's just there. He's just like, yeah, this will show that.
Can you imagine a guy like that in the real world? Yeah, he was there for Desert Storm, Operation Enduring Freedom, and fucking he was there for the Siege of Fallujah too. What did he do? Sat in a chair, rolled his eyes back.
Yeah, well, like, okay. Like
Purple
your, like,
Heart.
well, like your generals and stuff, they get medals.
Yeah, but they have to command the war. They don't sit there and roll their eyes to the back of their head.
He was commanding like 3 ravens, man. 3.
Do what?
We don't
Photography.
know. We don't know. It was just so top secret, like no one knows to this day. Like it was just like I don't know. They were all
If
like,
any-
they're like, oh, the 3 ravens were probably named like Solid, Liquid, and Solidus.
And they did nothing.
they were in so deep, man.
They did nothing. They just was flying around the whole time. This is so bad. Yeah, Edmure. Edmure is much more of a clear-cut veteran. Look at him.
I will still maintain that Brad is the veteran of one war,
Oh my
and it was
fuck.
the greatest war. It was, yeah. Didn't they call it the Great War?
Yeah, right. It lasted one episode. How long did the fucking the North fight the crown for?
Well, they were just incompetent. Like, just because you win a battle faster doesn't mean that it was a better
A
battle.
little
More
girl stabbed the guy and won everything.
She's a grown woman. She's a grown woman. We have to legally say that at this point because half of us have seen her like half naked.
Oh god.
She's a grown woman. Zinzin.
Oh god. Anyway.
That was a weird tangent.
Completely normal tangent.
What do you want to get arrested?
I didn't mean that far.
What are we talking about?
Arya.
Yeah, what about her?
You saw her naked back.
Yeah.
I saw her like quarter naked.
Like
I was under the impression she was still like 12. I was like, is this legal?
No, she's 18. In the show, she's 18. The actress is like 22, 23. So.
So,
It was-
Avengers.
Again, I said this last time about that scene. That was the most normal sex scene in the whole of Game of
Yes,
Thrones.
yes.
So
Well, then they started bombarding us with sex scenes we didn't want. Like Jamie X.
yeah.
It was just-
Oh man. Holy, yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I thought it was gonna be platonic.
Yeah, I thought that.
And
that
they
friendship
subverted
was-
my expectation.
I thought she was in a friend zone for the longest time, and then.
Well, I thought like their whole
I thought
thing
that was
about them
stupid.
was that they were just having a lot of sexual tension between the two, right? Like it's just gonna sit there unresolved because Jamie loves Cersei.
Yeah.
And then then they consummate it, and I'm like, this is just the worst. And then he just leaves right after, and I'm like, why did any of this happen?
And then
He
the
had to do that to know that. He was like, oh, you know what? My sister was better.
It completely
He
his
needed
character.
to know what he was missing, and he's like, "Yeah, I wasn't missing out much."
yeah,
It's
last
like,
night
I
was
got-
it's like,
terrible.
well, it turns out I don't like tall women.
Like, he wakes up last night was terrible. Now I don't even like the North anymore. All the food tastes worse now. Like, what am I even doing here?
You know, I came from my brother, and then I'm gone.
Can you
Yes.
imagine? And then there's that meme going around because Brienne was basically updating the Wikipedia entry for Jamie
For
Lannister.
Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, in the Westeros Wikipedia. She should have just been like, yeah. fuck.
Wait, isn't she supposed to toss sand in the book after she wrote it? Isn't that the thing
I have
about
no
writing?
idea. I don't know.
yeah, that's the other thing people are pissed off about is that she didn't let the ink dry. She just flipped the
Yeah, she just like, yeah, it's just gonna smudge.
Smeared the
I actually
entire
said
page.
that when I was watching that.
Ruins
Just close it.
every
It's
page.
gonna smudge. What are you doing?
Smudge. Wikipedia.
And
entry.
that's why they usually show people throwing sand on those kind of
Yeah,
old-timey
yeah.
writing to dry the ink
Yeah.
and absorb the excess ink.
But also, she could have written
But she
anything
just
in that
flipped the
book.
page.
She could have written like, oh yeah, so Jamie Lannister, yeah, he had like a fucking small ass dick.
He also single-handedly killed the Night King.
What the fuck? Oh my god, this
Like history is written by the victors, right?
This hurt my brain. This episode hurt my brain. It really
I
did.
was up till episode 5. I was like, no, they'll fix it. But this was not
just
like
holding
like
on.
Your expectations were subverted then.
yeah.
How close were these to the leaks? I
It was
heard-
100% accurate.
There was
Wow.
leaks.
As soon as they saw, because I read the leaks because I wanted to prepare myself for this hot shit. That
So
was
the
coming.
final episode got leaked.
All the entire season was leaked,
Oh, I didn't.
Or like
And-
the plot at least.
pretty much. And then it was like point. It was like it's point facts or whatever, right? Like,
Bullet.
Why would
Bullet
Brian
points.
not be the one that knew about the leaks?
I didn't get a copy of the leaks.
yeah, he wasn't fast enough. No, it was basically like as soon as Tyrion tossed his hand, the icon of the hand, I was like, okay, that's what the leaks say. And then the leaks were pretty much 100% accurate.
Wow.
Bran was gonna be king. There's gonna be some thing about democracy. They're gonna pick it. Arya becomes Magellan.
That would totally ruin those Game of Thrones like polls and those like betting games.
Yeah, no shit. He just went in there, put $1 million on Bran.
Yeah, exactly. I totally would have.
Oh my god.
Anybody would have if they didn't know.
No, yeah, the leaks were there, and 100% accurate.
But
And then
apparently there were theories of people saying that Bran would become king. I don't know.
before, yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
but
a
there's
theory.
a theory about everyone
Yeah.
becoming king, right?
Yeah.
Like even Grey Worm was probably theorized to become king.
Maybe even Hot Pie had a theory to become king.
Yeah,
Or Ed Sheeran. Or is it Ed Sheeran?
Shireen.
Shireen was
Oh, the
Barat,
little girl.
the little girl with the grayscale.
Yeah, her ashes had a chance of becoming clean. But
And just like Tyrion said, now my ashes will tell Varys' ashes, or Varys' ashes will tell my ashes.
thank you for that writing. And then,
Oh, I told you so.
I told you so.
And then you're just like, wow, this is excellent.
and then Daenerys just kept on saying, you know, when I was a kid, I couldn't count past 20. Multiple times.
Just twice. Just twice.
Just twice.
So Jon Snow should have been like, so how many people did you think you killed? It had to be more than 20.
19. I
guess-
killed only 19.
I guess from her perspective, it wasn't that bad. If she
Like,
can't
oh,
count
I
past
still
20.
can't
It
count
was
past
20.
20.
20?
I still can't count past 20.
You know how many people he killed in that city? Like, oh, 20?
It can't have been more than 20.
That's our biggest number I
Has
know.
anyone actually seen her use a number past 20?
Oh my god.
God.
I'm subverted. This is so dumb.
I was actually talking to my friend when I was watching the episode. They're showing the throne, and I was saying like, it still bugs me how the throne is like so tiny.
Oh, yeah.
When it's like described as like it should be made of thousands of swords and stuff. And then they actually did talk about that.
Yeah.
After I'm like, that's still not like 1,000 swords in that chair. So.
You're lucky
It is
to get
probably
like
closer to
500 in
20.
there. I'd say like maybe 20. Yeah, 20.
Well, what do you guys think about because there was some other actors and actresses that were commenting on the petition to redo the season 8, and then one of them was the girl in Riverdale, Lily Reinhardt. I think she plays Betty or something.
Who's she in Game of Thrones?
No, sorry, she's in Riverdale. She's an actress in Riverdale.
Oh,
and she
oh,
was
it's
commenting-
other
not
actors.
she was
actors.
commenting on
The
the Game of
petition.
Thrones petition, and then she was basically saying like, "Oh, you know, like these fans, you know, they can't do this. It's rude. You know, you can't just she basically said these TV shows and movies are not fan service or whatever, right? And then a bunch of fans hit back at her and be like, "The fuck are you talking about? Who do you think basically pays to watch all your shit?" And plus some other people are saying like, that's rich coming from someone from Riverdale. Isn't Riverdale like 100% fan service anyway? If fans are angry, that's tough shit. Like, fuck you. This is art. You can't, you know. That was basically the argument. This is art, you know, and you know, just basically fuck you, fans. What do you think about that?
That's kind of stupid. They're not gonna redo the season. Like, it'd be nice if they did do it better.
Yeah,
They're not gonna do it.
of course.
But there is like all shows that have a certain level of fan service. That's why they get viewers.
Well, this whole thing is like they're not acknowledging that. Okay, just fans are angry because it's shit, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, what can you even? Why are you even saying anything? Just to, I don't know, like defend what the saying the fans shouldn't be angry. That was okay.
Well, the fans have a right to be angry, but then the writers also have a right to write whatever the hell they wanted.
Right, exactly.
Even if it's crap. Like
I propose that we go back to this old Roman system where all the actors back then are paid dick all.
Ooh, I was thinking decimation.
Oh yeah, and the actors. Well, that's in the army. The actors don't decimate themselves.
Well, this place sucked. Decimation.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
I'd have no problem with them if the entire cast of Riverdale doing decimation.
would that be aired?
No. Oh, maybe they should be good television. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you'd get so many.
No, it's only her. I would say, you know what? Not even the entire cast, just her doing decimation. She has to draw. There's only one. Yeah, and there's only one short straw in there. Wait a second. Fuck, but like, oh my god, it's. Well, here's a question then. It was the end of the series, and they did it so shittily. You know, like it's not like they're shooting anymore. You can't. It's not like fans can express their dissatisfaction by unsubscribing for, you know, or not watching the, you know, the
People are
later episodes.
I think
unsubscribing to
everyone
From
HBO.
the HBO, yeah, in this
HBO.
case, from HBO. But like the show ended, there's no other avenue to air your grievances. What would you do?
You could not watch the spin-offs.
Yeah.
You could not support those.
I don't
But
think.
those are years out. So you're saying that our feedback loop is like delayed in time. Like,
By
that's
then,
ridiculous.
and by then you'll have romanticized this,
Well,
and you'll be
the
like, "Oh
only
no, it was
meaning-
actually pretty good," and then
Well,
you'll
yeah, yeah.
sign into that
It's like,
next
yeah,
one.
like Watchmen.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like you might watch it because depending on how the spin-offs go or what story they tell, it's like, oh, maybe it'll help justify the season.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like-
people will always say that. Like, yeah, hopefully it'll make it
Yeah,
better.
so
Even
they'll
though
still
they get the
watch.
same exact people, the same exact stupidity. doing the same exact show, and at the end is like, oh, I hated the show. Let's start another petition.
What percentage of people do you think unsubscribe to HBO now?
I would say
of
of the people that started immediately as Game of Thrones started airing, all of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, probably less than half.
You notice how HBO also dropped the trailer for Westworld season 3
Oh yeah,
just this morning. Just be like,
I haven't even watched
Actually,
season 2 yet.
As I was
I haven't
watching
seen
Game of
season-
Thrones,
yeah.
that trailer for Dark Matter looks pretty cool.
his dark material.
His
Dark
Dark
Matter.
Material.
Dark Matter.
His Dark Material, yeah, the Golden Compass remake.
Yeah.
That looks really interesting.
Yeah, no, that looks good too. But I mean, that's why they started off the final episode with all these tidbits of everything new that they've got coming out.
Actually, they even did a countdown. Because when I was streaming live, they were doing a countdown for the Game of Thrones episode.
I just watched it on a streaming service.
Nothing incriminating
Oh, you
here.
sailed the high seas. You said.
So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about Avengers?
Quick, change the subject.
We went really off topic when we started talking about Avengers. We went back to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, we can go back to Avengers now. You got
Forcefully-
Avengers, I gotta say, was awesome. It touched all the right points, and it was a good way to end the Infinity Saga and basically finish off Phase 3. The fans who want to depart it can depart it in peace. The fans who want to stay along with the ride can continue.
They did it good. They ended it pretty good.
That's the thing, though. Where do they go from here? Because they're gonna build up another like team-based thing at some point, and then
You don't watch trailers. Have you seen the trailer for Spider-Man?
Nope.
Then I can't really talk about it. About
Okay,
where they're
fine.
gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for you because I know you don't like to watch trailers until after you watch the movie. So
Yes. And watching the trailer, I don't know if I mentioned this last time. Watching the trailer for Endgame, after I watched the movie, they didn't actually give like much away from.
No, I think they do a pretty good job with
They didn't get much away.
Avengers and Star Wars. Those are like the two things they.
But for
Don't
Infinity
really
Wars,
do.
they gave out a lot.
But in a sense, they kind of did give it away because they didn't show much of Thanos in the trailers, and he wasn't
Nope.
a big part in that movie.
but the new
He showed up.
He was making soup.
It was more character based.
Well,
trailer.
2014.
the
Thanos
discussion
showed up.
you want right now, the more the trailer for Far From Home kind of explains that.
I know that
Somewhat.
it spoiled Endgame just because the trailer in general just like Spider-Man lives then. So, yeah,
But
so
no,
that's
in terms of more of the world that the question you just asked. So I would say maybe if you want to keep it,
Although
then we keep it till after we've watched Spider-Man. I guess
when does that come out?
July.
Okay.
It'll be a while. Yeah.
Actually, that's not too far out.
So, thinking about that point, like trailers spoiling movies and whatnot, but isn't Black Widow getting her own like spin-off film produced by Scarlett Johansson herself?
Yeah, it'll be set in 2005.
Oh, is that the plan?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
that makes
before
sense.
even Iron Man, because Iron Man is 2008, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be set before.
But she'll be in the old universe.
Yeah, the original universe, the main universe.
But it's not. It's not connected to.
Well, it's
No,
still
it'll
good.
be connected because in Iron Man 2 she shows up. So basically, we're gonna see in 2005 her story of how.
But her story is like phase 1 and 2, like, whereas everyone else's story is like the past phase 3 of Marvel cinema, right?
This won't have an impact on anything. It's
This
like a
one
prequel kind
it's
of
a
thing.
prequel thing. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's saying 2005. That's even before Iron Man, the first.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you'll know that she won't die in this movie.
One. Yeah.
Or will she?
Brought back by.
They'll probably just end it to
Baby
where
Stone.
she gets enlisted to infiltrate Tony Stark, Stark Industries, and basically where she starts off in
gonna
Iron Man 2
spy.
as his assistant, right?
Yeah.
So
That's how it's gonna end potentially.
probably.
Yeah, I hope they do more of an espionage kind of thing. 'Cause she's supposed to be like spy type kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean like she'll have a major mission that'll
Yeah,
cover
that's
most of
what
the
I'm
movie, and then at the end she'll be like, "What's next?" And then Fury will be like, "Well, now I need you to check up on this guy."
Literally just said the entire movie.
That's what I think. I don't know. They announced it. This is my speculation of what the movie's gonna be. I don't have any say in the matter. I'm not subverting any expectations.
So
It's just a new buzzword at this point.
Subverting
Buzzphrase.
the shit out of everything. Oh my god.
How'd you think of how they ended up, like Tony? I think that was
Tony was
perfectly
perfect
done.
because in the first Avengers, Captain America said to him, "Would you ever be the guy who's willing to
Yeah.
lay down on the wire so the other guy can crawl over you?" Well, he did exactly that. He did that, letting Captain
Nice.
America crawl over him and live the life that he wanted to originally live before duty and honor made
I know
him.
there was a lot of confusion about Captain America's how they finished up his storyline, just because there was time travel involved, with
Time
him
travel.
going back,
Yeah.
living his life, and then coming back to this timeline properly, and
Well, that's why he snagged the extra pin particles
yeah,
in the
but
in the
it would
70s.
still be because he goes on a diverging timeline when
Yeah.
he goes back and starts living his life there.
Yeah.
So he'd have to go back in time to the main timeline and then back into the time that they're
Yeah.
doing this whole thing.
I like to imagine one of the conversations when he goes back in time to who was that? What was that woman's name again? The British woman. What's her name?
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter, right? And I just like to imagine like he went back in time and then maybe he let slip one day. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I Frenched your granddaughter."
Our grand.
Our grand.
No, actually, it's not his granddaughter. It's not his granddaughter. No, it's Peggy's sister's daughter. So
oh,
it's
right.
not really.
Right. Not her. It's not her direct granddaughter.
It's
She's
Peggy's-
a great aunt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Peggy's sister's.
Oh,
daughter.
that makes it better.
That
Oh,
saves it.
so
That's
much
what
better.
saves it. Yeah.
So much
Saved
better.
it.
That's what saves it.
Your descendants are quite
Well,
succulent.
it's just low key incest at that point.
Well, in that timeline, she wouldn't have existed anyways at that point, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Don't talk about
Wait,
that.
so
That's
it's the
good.
same timeline?
She would be. Well, she would eventually exist, right? By the time he's sitting at that park bench,
She
Oh,
actually
man,
man,
exists.
you think he'll just be like just sitting at the park one day, like taking the kids out? It's like, should I do it again?
I didn't get caught last time.
dear God, dear God,
Way
Oh.
to sully Captain America.
he did it. He is the one that made out with the great.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did it
but
himself.
bringing up that he would
Great
just do that again down the line when he's already married and everything.
Well, he's retired, right? So
So he's okay to do this.
It's okay.
he's earned it.
He served in
man.
like 4 wars, man. That makes him, distinguished. Deserving.
He's earned it.
But speaking of character arcs, so I thought that Iron Man and Captain America's were done really well.
Mhm.
Of the people that don't exist anymore, I guess.
Mhm.
But Black Widow's was kind of really dumb. Basically, she had like 2 scenes, and one of them was her eating a sandwich, and then they're like, and then you're dead.
I
Yeah.
thought it was played out properly in a way. It's not like a great ending for her, but I
Yeah.
think it played its role. And
I think of like
I think
And
he's.
that payment
more
is a lot, right? A soul for a soul, but you don't get the soul back if you return the soul stone.
yeah, I don't know the rules behind that.
Yeah.
Soulstone's one of the weirdest ones.
That's why the original Gamora from Infinity War isn't back yet. It isn't back at all either, right? This is the one we see in this one is the 2014 Gamora,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
and then she escapes at the end,
well, we don't know what happens to her.
or whatever. But
Well, we're gonna go find her or
the
something, right?
the idea is that Guardians 3 will have something to do with her,
Mhm.
Yeah, because they're like in the ship. They show that they're.
or I should say Asgardians
Yeah,
3,
as Guardians of
Asgard.
Asgardians of the
I hope
Galaxy.
Thor's just forever fat now.
I hope that too. Yeah, and like
Oh, wait,
it
so
would be-
speaking of Thor, so in the end of Infinity War, when Thor and like Thanos are fighting, they're like fairly evenly matched, with Thanos kind of just overpowering him a little bit. And then we skip to this movie, 2014 Thanos, no gauntlet. He's just the strongest man ever. No one can fight him.
Yeah, I didn't really know. I always just thought Thanos was just supposed to be fucking OP. I was actually surprised that when he was making lunch, he just got fucking just ganked right in his house.
They justify that while saying like, oh, he like almost died when he was destroying the
Yeah,
gems.
but he's always supposed to be OP. I don't know, but
Yeah.
you would know. You at least you guys would know it better. Like, how fucking OP is he supposed to be?
Insanely OP in the comics.
in the comics.
But
yeah.
he's also got the dumbest motivations in the comics. He just wants to impress Dad.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Love
comics,
isn't a stupid
basically,
reason.
he's in love with the
Yeah,
personification.
yeah,
of
I get
like,
that part.
Yeah, so he'll do anything for it. Basically, in the comics, he's Jon Snow going, "My queen, I'll do
My
anything for
queen. My
God, we're
queen.
gonna start this again.
Well, he's just gonna sit there like, oh,
I love you.
Duty is the death of love.
She's my queen.
This is why she doesn't love you. Stop saying that voice.
My queen.
Actually, I don't think that works out with because Death loves Deadpool in the comics. So
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh.
he's ridiculous.
Oh, wait. Okay. Question though. Okay, so Thanos versus Thor. Is Thanos supposed to be way more powerful than Thor? What's going on? Because one of my friends actually asked me this question the other day, and I was like, "Hey, which Avengers do you think is like the strongest, the most powerful?" And I'm just like, "Fuck if I know."
Well, as of now, it'd probably be Captain Marvel.
In the movie,
In the
yes.
movies,
Yeah.
Because she just kind of walks through a ship and she's like, "Oh yeah, that was nice."
Is she supposed to be that powerful though? In the movies,
She's not that powerful in the comics,
No.
but in the movies, they've just turned her into.
Yeah,
like,
the power
super-
scaling in the movie is just I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all messed up. Like
Oh.
I don't know.
Because I guess in the movies they need to make it. No, that's not true. I was gonna say they may need to make it look realistic, but
Where's the realism? You have to factor in the physics calculations for all these.
no, she's. I don't think she's that crazy powerful in the comics as she is in the movie.
Okay, well, what exactly is her power then? She just like shoots out.
It's the same powers as you see in the movie, but there's a limit to them. It's not like that.
Yeah.
She can
Plus,
just.
in the comics, there's just so many more powerful
Oh, yeah.
entities and
Yeah.
everything that's like
So
like
would she be
Galactus
able-
and everything. And
Should
above.
she be able to defeat Thanos if it was one versus one
No.
without Infinity Gauntlet?
I'd still say no.
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 No, probably not.
What
Although-
a blow to women's rights.
Speaking of which, though, I spoke to probably a couple. I don't know if I told you this. I think I did during work or something, but it's like one of the scenes I just didn't really like in
Wait.
Endgame was the whole girl power.
Oh, the
thing.
girl power.
It's just so
Oh.
forced. I'm fine with like having the whole
Oh
girl
my
power
goodness.
thing,
Do you
but
think
having
she's misogynist?
No,
I'm
what do you
saying.
It was forced. I got it.
Yeah, it's like it's Captain Marvel. She has the gauntlet. She doesn't need help to get from point A to point B.
Because they're like, "Oh yeah, girl power," right? And they're all like flexing on people.
Yeah.
And then Captain Marvel just flies by. It's like, "See
Yeah.
you guys."
That's the thing. It's like it's so forced. Like, oh, she's not alone. She's got us. And then
Yeah.
they all like, why don't you do it more fluid, where you just show them fighting like backing each
Yeah,
other
back
up?
and forth.
You
Back
don't have
and
Yeah.
to like be in your face.
Not
Yeah.
like the
Like you're-
oh,
so
let's
basically you're saying-
stop battling. Pose right in front of this
You're
group.
saying like
and
cut out
it's-
that pose scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The post scene could have been at the end where they just after fighting and all this craziness they realized that they've somehow ended
Well, they
up
wouldn't have posed afterwards because then
No.
Captain Marvel failed.
No,
Not fail and then pose. Yeah, girl power.
not a pose, not a pose.
Oh, I could just.
But just-
yeah, I know what you
Generations
mean.
in shambles.
You mean like after like they defeat basically all the enemies in that area, they're just kind of like
They just
slash
realized that
standing
hey,
there.
we're all next to each other.
They
Yeah.
could have done that in a lot of different ways that would probably be better.
It's just how forced it was that I don't.
Yeah, and then and then the big bad Thanos man, the patriarchy.
It's kind of like in Infinity War when Thor lands in Wakanda and him and Captain America are talking but also fighting.
Yeah.
Kind of
Oh,
like
and
that.
then
If
they
they
talk
had
about
done
the
that
beard.
with the women, it would
Yeah.
have flown better.
It was
Oh, where they talk about
So
each
who
other's
would've gone
hair?
with
Yeah.
beard, though?
They could talk about their hair.
Well, they could have talked about other things.
Or their nails. Be like, oh, I like your nails.
Not nails.
That's the opposite effect.
Wow,
Wow. Massage doesn't
you know,
do
I don't even know.
They could have said
on one hand,
simple shit like nice shot. Or
on one hand you're
whatever,
ultra
or-
feminist,
or-
on the other
or
hand you're
thumbs
ultra
up.
or-
massage feminist.
So, on the other hand, let's contrast that with the great fight scene, which was Captain America versus Thanos.
Yes,
With
that
the
was
hammer.
amazing.
Oh yeah, with the hammer. Yeah.
That was the best fight scene.
Avengers
The hammer was the
Assemble.
best moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was like the payoff for watching 4 movies of just Avengers.
Not 4 movies, 22
Well, 4 movies of just Avengers.
Just Avengers, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, oh, the hammer thing is, it's as I understand it, it's just like King Arthur's situation with the sword. It's
You
just
have to be
whoever.
worthy,
Yeah, that's it.
And basically, in the like, the only other person worthy is Captain America, pretty much.
What the
Well,
fuck does worthy?
they hinted that for like all
They-
the Avengers movies.
What
They
the
had
fuck
that
does
during
worthy
Age of
mean though?
Ultron.
What does worthy
Yeah,
mean?
Well, it says
At the
what,
party.
Jason,
Yeah.
what does it say
But
on
then
the
like
hammer?
Vision just does
What?
it for free.
What does
What
worthy
does
mean?
it say
in
on the
this case?
hammer? Whoever is worthy shall have the power of Mjolnir or whatever, something like that.
Something like that, but it's like kind of in the comics more like Mjolnir kind of just in a way has a mind of its own where it
Yeah.
kind of chooses who's worthy. So there's no like prerequisite that you could be like.
You also have to keep in mind that Mjolnir, for a while, was riding on Jane Foster's back. more or less.
Well, Jane Foster was
Yeah.
Thor.
She was
Yeah,
Thor.
she was Thor with cancer.
That's in the comics.
Yes.
That's-
Which is
That's
weird.
cancer Thor, right?
Yeah.
And then Thor was actually Odin's son, and that's when he has the storm.
Well,
yeah.
he was the unworthy Thor.
Yeah.
Yes, but he has a way cooler weapon. Well, looking at least.
Well, I think everything looks cooler than that.
No, but
to be
like
honest.
for the MCU, they haven't been entirely faithful to the comics.
No, I understand
They
that.
have to retcon it to make it work, and how just like in Ultron, the Ultron story in the comics is actually Hank Pym
Yeah.
creates Ultron.
Yeah, but they
Whereas
made it
here,
Stark.
They made it Stark.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like they made Tony's like unmatched in intelligence in these
Yeah.
this whole series.
He solved the time travel thing. He's like
Like,
he just asked his
without
AI, he's
trying.
like, could you try this for me? He's like, yeah. It's like, I think I solved time travel.
Yeah, he's like, copy,
He's just
like,
like
huh.
thumbs up.
copy and paste this part. I got it. the ring looks good now.
It'll be interesting when they bring, if and when they bring like Fantastic Four and stuff into it,
Yeah.
because you know
'Cause
Reed
that's
Richards
usually
is
Reed
gonna be
Richards, yeah.
the smartest and.
Well, he'll be the next smart because Tony is dead now. So.
Would they
Well,
want to do
that's,
that though?
like, how are they
Because
gonna do
the
it?
last Fantastic Four movie bombed pretty hard. Do you think people, the studios
Well,
would want to do
they'll
another
be
one?
rebooting it. And if they're rebooting it with the connection with its inclusion in the MCU, I'm pretty sure they would go ahead. Now that they have
I'm just
Fox.
thinking from like the studio exec perspective. Just like, we kind of rebooted this and it kind of failed.
No, but the studio exec is now
It's now a Disney guy.
Is the Disney guy is the guy who runs MCU.
And I heard the reason why a lot of those restarts of Fantastic Four failed is that they're like just making the movies because it's like contracted. They'll lose the rights if they
Yeah.
don't make a movie. So they just like put out a piece of crap. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
we still got the rights.
Yeah, no.
So
that's-
like
Oh, it's
the
like the X-Men thing.
the last
Yeah,
season of Game of
same kind
Thrones,
of
basically.
no, the last season of Game of Thrones wasn't a
I
rights
don't think
issue.
there was any contractual rights being.
But it was like the same mindset.
we just gotta get it out.
Yeah, we just gotta get it out. McQueen. Oh man.
Could you imagine being Kit Harington getting the script and it's just like, I've got 3 lines, guys. And it's just like, it's just my queen. I don't want it.
Hey,
I
I
don't
never-
want
I never
it.
wanted it.
I never wanted it.
Speaking of the script, are you guys gonna tune into the documentary next Sunday?
Maybe. Just a maybe.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah,
They have one.
There's
It's
like the long night or something.
The making
The
of
Last
like
Watch.
the last season.
Is it gonna be like movie length?
But I don't think
don't
it's
know.
about the script. It's mostly about like the set building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like
docu.
the actual-
The experiences of shooting the final season.
Yeah, I'll look into it if I feel like watching it. I
That's
don't know,
just-
might need some time to cool down from this. So.
We might have to come back to this conversation because I have not even decided in my own mind of what I think of.
I don't think they're gonna talk about the script. They're probably gonna talk.
No,
No, not the
like,
script.
I don't think they're gonna shine a
It's gonna be like, oh, you know, the
They can't.
location shoots and
Like
like.
anybody expecting the actors to actually come, or anyone involved to actually come out and say, yeah, I thought it was a piece of shit too. That's not gonna happen.
No, no one's gonna say that. Like they've said that they didn't.
They've had hints during like the interviews before the season started.
Where
like,
Tyrion talks about
Yeah.
like, yeah, look, we're fighting the Night King.
or it's like,
We're-
oh, what?
we're
It's
running
like
the
you
crypt."
filmed your final scene. What do you think of it?
I can't say.
The guy who plays Varys, he had said that he was kind of on like not satisfied with his character story
Yeah.
arc, but he didn't say I hated it. Or
They can't say it.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like also in their minds it's they're also sticking up for their cast, everyone else working.
Dude, they got paid $500,000 episodes, so you can't really be like, fuck this
yeah,
shit. Why did
they
I
won't
get...
say it anyways.
Yeah.
Because then that kind of
Like,
smears their
who-
career a bit.
Who do you
'cause
think
guys-
actually is satisfied with their character arc though? Like who actually had a satisfying character?
Bran?
You're on Grey fucking Joy. That's what he said.
Ned
Did you
Stark.
mean Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, he's
Savvy?
satisfied. He's like,
Ned
hey,
Stark.
He,
Ned
he
Stark.
didn't get the part for Jack Sparrow, so he got to do it this time.
I think Jamie Lannister had a excellent character circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. After I watched it, I'm like, wow, time really is a flat circle.
No, but like I know we're hating on all of it, but then again, I'm gonna argue the other side.
I cannot imagine in my right mind Nikolai Coster-Waldau looking at the script and be like, why? Like, why?
No, but it's just human nature that sometimes you don't change, even though you think you
Yeah.
can change. You don't
Yeah.
change. You go back to being
Yeah,
who you are.
I think maybe that they were trying to show that like everything is cyclical by the end of it, right? Like
Yeah.
you had Jon Snow going north of the wall again
Yeah.
for whatever reason, kind of like Benjen was Gifts at that point in time.
No, I think Jon Snow's more of the man's radar now. He'll be the king.
I think he's gonna be the craster now.
Oh god.
he's gonna fuck a bunch of wildlings and then fuck those wildlings that he creates. Fuck it.
No, his honor and duty.
McQueen.
God damn.
Yeah, my queen.
That can't be a reoccurring joke. It's too bad.
I never wanted it.
So
Oh my
good.
god.
So good. And on that note,
Christ.
Adrian's got none. He's lost it.
The fifth time you brought around that joke, that's the one that hits.
Bring it back multiple times. This can just be an hour, 2 hours of just McQueen. Fuck. I guess we know how I'm gonna title this.
My king.
Alright.
Subverging expectations.
We're hitting an hour 30.
Submerging expectations.
Submerging?
Like submerging, but not.
Anything else in regards to these two great epic series?
No, I think you guys covered it all very well.
For Endgame, I like the fact that there was some reality to it. Everybody was expecting, like, we knew everybody that got snapped was pretty much going to come back, but then they had some real deaths that resonate with, the fans and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they did it right. Like you're not gonna take like the whole logic and just like the how of the story seriously, but it's just like they made the story in a way that was like it is very palatable. It's just a satisfying story, no matter what you think about like time travel and all that mumbo jumbo shit. And just if you think about it, your brain will hurt. But you won't think about it because you'll be like, hey, I actually liked it. Yeah. I liked how it turned out. I liked how these characters.
I like the nod to Falcon at the end.
Yeah.
Picking up.
Yeah, that was a subtle one too.
I'm a little bit sad that they skipped over Bucky for Cap.
But it does happen in the comics too.
Yeah, but it's always Bucky first though.
No,
they decided to go this way.
There's one version where I think.
Well, that's like more recent, right? Like, it's pretty hard to follow like a comic timeline of like a linear thing. Like,
just because there's so much that
happens.
happens.
Yeah, like they've been rebooting it like pretty consistently for like 5 years or so.
But even Bucky kind of gave his blessing right there. He told.
I think that's what they were like alluding to.
And plus, Winter Soldier has a cool nickname
and
Falcon.
And he's got his own. He's
saying like, it's like I got the better name. You take the
yeah.
It's like I got the cool arm and stuff. He could take the shield.
Yeah.
But like a Cap with a gun is way cooler.
It is.
He already has some experience using the shield from Cap 2.
Yeah.
That's alright.
Yes.
The Winter Soldier.
Or is that in 3? Well, he definitely uses it to punch Iron Man in 3. I remember
3
that
was
part.
Civil War. Right?
Yeah.
So Winter Soldier.
Yes. The contrast between these two series and how they ended.
It's not quite so stark.
I see what you did there.
Are we gonna end on that? I'd rather end on McQueen.
The Quebecois will rise again. These didn't mean they would die.
What? What'd you just say?
What is dead may never die.
I see.
I'm just trying out these house
What?
monikers.
Fire
What
and
kind of
blood.
accent was that? Oh my god, that's like a guy living in an apartment in Baltimore. That was that accent right there.
Well, I think Brian could probably.
You're one
correct us on
to
that.
criticize other people's accents.
Yeah. Yes, I should because my accent is so bad that I have the license to criticize. That should be the credentials right there. So anyways, you want to wrap this up then?
All I gotta say is I'm pretty sure we'll be having this Game of Thrones discussion again because, like I said,
It's not over.
It's not over for me. Yeah, I still need to hash out some things in my own mind.
You are just like the aftermath of King's Landing and just people just walking slowly. their skin burnt off and just walking slowly out there.
He's more like the beaten housewife. He's just got the 2 black eyes. It's just like, well, he still loves me. And he's just trying to make sense of what DB was.
Yeah. They had a hard day.
Makes sense,
It's
you know.
my fault, really.
It's really my fault as the viewer for not watching it correctly.
I overstepped a bit, so he pushed me down the stairs. It makes so much sense.
No, I just wasn't watching the episode correctly. That's my problem.
Yeah, like if you go in expecting like a reasonable conclusion to everything, that with no plot holes, it's like a tight story. Yeah, you definitely went in with the wrong mindset.
We kind of just forgot that this was supposed to be a good story. Supposed to have good writing.
And the worst thing is now, for a decent ending, I have to wait till the books get finished, and I don't even know if the books will ever be finished.
Whenever he dies and Brandon Sanderson steps in, I think that's...
Brandon Sanderson, I hope he doesn't be, like, I love him, but I hope he's gonna be the cleanup guy for every story.
Yeah, this is what happens when you do it once.
But the thing with the Wheel of Time and Robert Jordan is, at least Robert Jordan was consistent. He was putting out a book for every year and a half, 2 years. He did the first 11 himself, and then he died, and then Brandon...
He knew he was gonna die.
And he knew he was gonna die, so he finished up... He finished up the story and put out... He had about like 2,000 pages of notes and stuff, which is what Brandon Sanderson worked on to finish the series for him. Whereas this guy, he's done 5 books over this almost the same number of years.
And plus...
Oh, and one of them is supposed to be one book too, right? Like Feast and Dance?
Yeah, they're supposed to be connected. And the idea when he wrote Feast was like that book 5 will be out within the year because I've been working on them at the same time. And then it ended up being a whole bunch of years after.
Can you imagine how different reality would be if instead of Sanderson finishing the books, it's like Benioff and Weiss that finish off Wheel of Time?
That's when I will agree with you on the Firing Squad.
Oh, Jesus. You guys are all about like this capital punishment. I want a trial.
Trial and then capital punishment.
And then the
No
capital.
matter the decision.
No.
We'll just
Not
have
no
to
matter
point
the decision. We'll just have insurance is what we'll have. Like a firing squad right outside the courtroom.
We're just subverting expectation right here.
Subverting expectations. McQueen. I'm gonna have to think about which one I put in the title.
Subverting McQueen.
I think I like subverging expectations or McQueen.
Did he say submerging again?
Subverging.
Subverging.
Subverting McQueen.
Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
combination.
You did subverted that word.
He subverted every expectation.
Alright. I guess it's time to sign off then. This has been Verbal Laxative.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for
All
listening.
3 of you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See ya.
McQueen!